this video I finish off the rear wall and get a start on building the fire system. So this is the fire mains coming in, and I built a substantial plate there just to support the framework that's going to hold my barn doors. And I do want to be sure that it doesn't move around just in case it gets knocked someday. These are quite heavy duty C sections, and that base plate is 10mm, and you can see that copper pipe. The copper pipe there feeds some sprinklers I've got mounted on the roof, or will have mounted on the roof, and there's another pipe on the outside which is going to be for a fire hydrant. So I just braze that on just so I can get to that elbow, because you can see it fits right inside that C section. And then inside the workshop there's going to be the isolation valve for the sprinklers on the roof, and I just made a little recessed compartment or box for that. And it's quite a tight fit, but it turns out pretty well. So you can see the pipework there runs right up to the roof ridge, and there's two central sprinklers. So I stained some wood like I've done with the window frames and make this little box up, and that'll just be signposted as the sprinkler valve, and then I'll put some hardwood behind there and finish it off. So quite happy with that. After this, I've got the hydrant up there. I've just got to tidy that pipework up. You can sort of see the copper pipework goes right up to the ridge, and as I said, there's two sprinklers. I put the flashing on and then work my way across the back, put the Mezzmo sheeting like I've done everywhere else, and then I put the corrugated iron on. This is just brazing up the fire hydrant, and it was the same process as before. This is the last sheet, and the rear is just looking amazing now. After all this effort, it's really nice to see it actually completed. So you can see the lean-to side's done, the rear's done, and the hillside is done as well, and it's looking great. Really happy with that weather text under the soffits. I've got lights under there. I still need to do the doors and the windows, but the building itself at the rear is done. Now this front room is my office, and I'm just going to start framing this up. Same thing, just use some C-section. I purchased a Western red cedar sliding door a few months ago, and I've just put a recess in here when we did the slab. So this is for that cedar door, just to sit down a bit so there's not such a step. I had to do a few repairs on it, stain it, and you know what, come up really good. So definitely can't complain about that. I used the same sort of stain I used on the window, so everything sort of matches pretty closely in colour, which is great. So making that front frame, I just get the mag drill out, make a few more cleats, cut them, drill them, weld them, and I do cut some of these with the plasma, and that's using the S welder plasma and arc welder. It's actually a 5-in-1 welder, so if you want to see that, have a look at my previous video. That's quite a good machine. So lift this sliding door into place. Now I don't bolt the bottom at all, but what I do is use some high strength sealant. So this is going to seal that from the weather, as well as hold it in place at the base, and then I bolt it on both sides and the top, and it sat in there really nicely, and that's certainly not going anywhere. I bolted in, and once that was all in, it was just a matter of testing the sliding door, which I've got in there, and you can see I need to do a bit of work on that. Put the trims on, and that wall was pretty much framed and getting ready now for cladding. So there's a screen door. I'll give it a quick sand, give it a bit of a birthday, and again stain it. I'll put a new screen on it shortly, fit that on, and then I'll put some new locks on the main glass door. Now at this point, all the walls are done except for the main entrance at the front, and that's where the loft's going to be. So what I did after this is I start moving the gear I need around for the loft, and the last thing I need to do is do this last sheet of weather text. So that's the soffit completely done. Drill a couple of holes for downlights, and finally I start moving the main beam. So this beam there's two beams like this to hold the loft floor up. They're absolutely enormous. They're about 600 kilograms per I-beam. They're 300mm sections. And in the next video, I will go through the build of the loft, and once that framework's up with the staircase, I'll be able to finally finish the front wall, and this will be coming to an end. See you next time.